All right, Bannock County Commissioners are back in session. We're looking at the 2025 budget, and we have with us Anita. Please introduce yourself and say who you represent, and then we'll get started.
Okay, my name is Anita Valladolid, and I am the director of the Senior Activity Center. First of all, I want to thank you, Commissioners, from the bottom of my heart for caring about seniors in Bannock County. I am thanking you from hundreds of seniors that participate at the Senior Center. We are not a duplicated service in Bannock County. We're dedicated to the senior population. We help seniors live independently in their homes and help them become a part of the community. A couple things I want to highlight that I omitted on my report was that we feed seniors, and last year we fed over, the numbers, duplicated numbers were 7,739, but the actual number was 1,358. Unduplicated. And so that's a lot of seniors in Bannock County. Not all of them, but a lot of seniors that are in need of whatever reason it is, they come to the Senior Center. Our mission is to serve seniors 60 years and older. For whatever reason, they may be physically, financially, or just not able to provide for themselves, and they come to the Senior Center and socialize. Is there any questions on the services that we serve? Okay.
I think we're pretty familiar with them.
I did want to make one note. In our balance sheet, January through December 2023, the city of Pocatello actually paid us for 2024 $35,000. They paid the Senior Activity Center $35,000 in 2023. And it's actually
about the balance sheet or the P&L statement?
The P&L statement. So under Bannock County, City of Pocatello, there's $70,000. They paid us for 2024 and 2023.
Okay.
So that up to our actual net income
By 35,000.
by 35,000.
Yeah.
We did one thing this last year. We partnered with. We did do one partnership this last year that I didn't note on the accomplishments. Is we partnered with Idaho Food Bank, and so that's been. It's actually decreased our food costs from $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Partnering with them, the food's not exactly ideal, but it does help with the fruit, the dairy. Today we're having cottage cheese and pineapple. And those are things we would not be able to provide otherwise due to high food costs. I don't want to bore you with this.
How much of a increase has the food costs been for you?
Well, prior to the food bank, it's been anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 a month. Mm-hmm. Now it's $3,000 to $6,000.
Okay.
So that significantly helps us.
Reduce the food cost.
Yes, we reduced the food cost. Yes,
With the help
Because
of
of
the
this,
food bank.
because of this partnership.
because of this partnership.
It almost about in half, maybe?
Just about half. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
We're able to have a little bit more variety, fruits and vegetables. We're serving fresh fruit. We're serving dairy products. And we're able to actually pass out some food to seniors while we have the partnership. Today, we go every Monday and we pick up ourselves the food. And some of the food is minimally cost, but it's by far worth it.
Yeah. Looking at your profit and loss
Yes.
statement here, so just to kind of summarize this thing, it looks like your total income was $358.02 for the last year.
Are you on the balance sheet, Commissioner?
Profit and loss statement, page 2.
Okay.
You see that at the top there, total income?
Yes, yes.
And, but I think if I understand what you said correctly, that really ought to be reduced by $35,000. So really, it was about, what, 315,000
Yes,
was your total income?
yes,
And then expenses for the year were 246,000,
yes,
correct?
yes,
And so that would have meant that you actually had an income
we did,
of about 70 some odd, once we back out this 35,000.
we did,
It's going to be 65, 70,000, somewhere in that range.
yes. Mhm.
Okay.
And that money there, our balance sheet, as you can see, our assets, we do keep that for a rainy day, and just in case something happens and we need to purchase food and we aren't able to get support from the Older Americans Act.
So it looks like you
Funding.
have, just in checking and savings, you have $487,000.
Yes, that is correct.
And so with these expenses, 246,000, it looks like you have enough in your bank account that you could almost cover 2 years
That is correct.
of expenses.
If there was a disaster or we were not able to get funding from any entity, we could serve the people of Bannock County for 2 years with just the money
Okay.
and our bank account, yes.
Yeah.
Our,
Pretty strong balance sheet.
yeah, it's taken us a while to get to that point, but we want to be self-sufficient and not rely on anyone just in case there is a disaster or something happens to a building or whatnot.
So, at one time, there was quite a conversation about a new facility. Where's that at?
You know, there's lots of rumors, and until my board of directors gives me permission that we're moving forward, I know we need to partner with the baby boomers, and we have partnered with New Knowledge Adventures, but we haven't made, our board has not decided to move forward with any building at this point.
And wasn't that part of the reason of building this up some too, at one time?
I think it was at one time, but I think that was with a different board.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that, but at one time when they was talking about building this, it was,
And that's a different organization. You know, it's United Seniors Project. You're familiar with them?
I guess, I thought it was all one.
No.
That's a separate entity.
That is a separate entity, and we don't plan on moving forward unless we have the blessings of City of Pocatello, Bannock County, and City of Chubbuck, which at that point, I don't believe my board of directors has made any decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just one other question. During COVID, you was delivering a lot of meals, or people were coming by and doing drive-by?
Yes.
How's that going, and are you getting more people out at the center now than you were? Or?
Actually, it was really slow right after COVID, which was unfortunate, and then they decided to come back, I think, at the scare of COVID. But we're actually getting more people than we've ever seen, that actually new people that just moved here from another state. So we're getting a lot of out-of-staters coming to Pocatello Senior Center. And I guess that is due to the growth. And it does help that we have, not exactly remodeled, but we did a facelift inside, so it doesn't look so old. Our building does still look dilapidated, but when you walk in, we've got fresh paint, fresh decor, and so,
No, it's a huge improvement.
Thank you.
Inside. With
Thank
the
you.
work you guys did.
yeah, we're trying.
When I first went in after that was done, it was an amazing job your guys did.
Yeah.
I think you mostly did that yourselves, right?
We did.
Yeah.
We had a board member that really dedicated his time to giving us a facelift.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Thank you. We're trying. We're trying to keep the seniors happy in the environment that they're in. And it seems to be working.
So, as we look to next year, 20,000 is what Bannock County's been.
Yeah, and we didn't ask for an increase. We did ask the city of Chubbuck for an increase. They were giving us 7,000. Every year we asked them for a 7% increase, so they increased it to 8250, which we were very happy. We're actually going in front of City of Pocatello next week. We're not asking them for an increase either. We're trying to be sustainable. We know you have a lot of organizations to help.
Oh, yeah. You got a few days of people coming in.
So we didn't want to be a burden on additional funds. We're okay with the 20,000.
Okay.
I know it's a different tune this year, but, and that attributes to our board of directors. They just want to be sustainable and continue the partnership.
Questions?
You've answered my questions.
No?
More comments?
No, I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
And look forward to you guys coming again this year to volunteer.
We'll be there. You're not going to get that away from Christie.
Yeah,
Promise.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right. Looks like we have Downey American Legion.
Oh, the place hasn't changed much.
That's okay too.
Yeah.
Do you have Downey American Legion? Do you
There
have-
is
They
no
didn't provide
information.
anything.
Okay.
Do you have a handout there? Is that what you got?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I didn't know, I've got 3 of them. Is that gonna be enough?
Yeah,
That's enough,
We'll make it
yeah.
work.
I'll share.
All right, please introduce yourselves and get you on the record, and we'll go from there.
My name is Thor Gunderson. I'm the commander of Downey American Legion Post 21.
And I'm Steve Smith. I was former commander and just all around mechanic down there. So
I'm new, so Steve is still breaking me in here. So what we have down there is a small Legion post manned by elderly men. I'm the youngest of the permanent residents in the post, and I'm 67. And it goes up from there. We have about 17 active members and 44 members total. And our primary mission is to support the mission of the American Legion, which is veterans. And in doing so, we hold our meetings, we march in the parades. Mostly every year we do the fair, and we've marched up in your parade you have up here, which is wonderful. We support the Bannock County Fair by, we sponsor the Legion Dinner, and we also run the beer booth for the fair. We perform last rites ceremonies, which is shooting over veterans' graves and blowing taps. Perform honor guard duties at Veterans Memorial. Yesterday we did 4 cemeteries that we shot over, and then we did the riders and the memorials. At the Memorial Park we had 150 motorcycle riders from the POWMIA, us, and the general public, and that turned out to be a pretty good event. And I emceed that. We also are building a small museum, and it's growing rather fast, and it highlights veterans of South Bannock County from World War I on, and that's kind of fun. We're getting a lot of doughboy pictures from World War I, and we've had 620 veterans serve from South County from World War I to Vietnam and the Gulf War, and we're quite proud of that, and we're trying to get all their pictures that we can of them up there and more memorabilia. Our Legion Hall was built in 1926. It was a CCC camp, and then it became a conscientious ejector camp, and during World War II. And it's it's starting to wear down a little bit, but it's still functional and it's historic. And we lend that out to families for family reunions. We have a lot of small groups that meet there and conduct business there. Downey has a beautiful community center that they got built, but it's huge, it's big for Downey, and so for most people, it's for small groups, it's just easier to come to us, and we're right there. We open it up, and they use that quite frequently, and that's free of charge. If they want to make a donation, they can. I mean, you know everybody down there, so you're not going to really charge them. We have an American Legion Auxiliary that we support, and they support us, and they have their little things that they do. They're getting monuments set out at certain times of the year, like the praying soldiers, and they put the crosses out in front of the Legion Hall, and they do a bit of community service. And on community service, we're also involved in, down in Downey, we have old ladies who can't get out of bed hardly or have some very serious medical problems. And we got 3 houses of them. And their yards are torn up, grass not being cut. Their houses they can't walk through them, and it's just because they just can't move anymore, and they've been neglected. So as the community, we got together with the church, the do-gooders. They're a woman's group, and we call them the do-gooders. About a dozen ladies, and in the Legion, and we're going in there and we're doing the yards and we're doing the houses, pulling everything out, cleaning everything up. Some of them are horrible. Some of them have cat poop this deep. And we've been, it's a good deal, and we'll get those 3 houses done this year. PSI has actually given us a 30 cubic yard dumpster for free. And that was very nice of them, but that's one of the things that we have people involved with there, and that's I think Downey's gonna be a lot better for that. Legion baseball, what's not on this list is what you'll see there. I think they call it the Riders. You've probably seen it on TV. They take veterans that are terribly wounded or have mental problems, and they put them with cowboys, and they have a whole program where they go around the country. Well, the Cottonwood Cattle Association does that. They go up there for a number of days, somewhere between 8 and 15 days, and they actually they cut them no slack. I mean, they're on horseback. There's guys with no legs on horseback, and it's and they actually do everything from fencing to, and then they'll move to another ranch and another thing, and they supply the horses. We give them $500 out of our fund for food, out of our Legion. But then all the Legion members contribute out of our pockets, and we bring that up to $1,000 every year. And then we get some other people to contribute. So we get them between $1,300 and $1,500, and give it to Nick. Nick Phillips is our contact point for that group, and that's a pretty good thing. And they come down and thank us. We do a lot of flag retirements, a lot of down there. If you've been in Downey, if you stood in Downey at the crossroads in downtown Downey, just by standing in that one spot, you can see 5 American flags. And if you drove around town, you would view 36 American flags for a small village flying. And so they get old. We help replace them. But we do retirement ceremonies, which are quite involved in burning. And we also teach a lot of kids. We teach kids flag etiquette. And in fact, we're going to be doing that again this month. And it's just, how do you, there's a push on now that all these other people are carrying around other people's flags. And so the churches and Boy Scouts and all are calling us back in, and I give that class. And it's everything about the flag, all the way from the flag code that was developed in 1928, all the way on how you handle the flag, how you show the flag, how you march it with it, and then how you retire it all at the end of its life. And it's a pretty good thing we do. And then we actually teach them a little bit of how to march with it, and where it's supposed to be. We give veterans free rides to medical appointments. I'm also a volunteer for a number of other organizations. I volunteer with Melissa, you know Melissa. And we give our group, we give free rides to veterans to their medical appointments, the ones that can't make it on their own. And our range is from Idaho Falls all the way down to West Jordan, because they have a big VA facility down there now. And there's more. Last year you told me to shorten it. But that's what we do, and we're going to do that. I mean, we're going to do it. Our members are dying off. We had an ambulance truck one away yesterday. He's still in there in hospital now. But as long as we can hold our rifles, we're going to do this. Did you have something you want to say?
Well, by the way, that picture, is it a painting or picture? That's
Picture,
great.
Field of Heroes.
That's new this year, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had the artist or the photographer donated that to the county,
Yeah, that's,
and we just finished that up. Commissioner Huff did the closing ceremonies yesterday, and Commissioner Crowder did
Oh,
the
yeah.
opening ceremonies on Friday. But beautiful picture.
no. But I guess the other bottom line is we're not asking for any more than what we've got in previous years, but we appreciate it if we can do
I
that.
couldn't find my budget book today. What have we been given?
Honestly, I didn't. I forgot.
2,500.
2,500.
Thereabouts.
And we certainly do appreciate that.
Well, you guys do a lot of work there. One thing I would ask you is, you just mentioned you had the ceremonies yesterday. We never know about those things.
Huh.
And if you would let us know, I mean, if we have some time, we would love to come down there and participate or just show up. But there was 2 events that happened yesterday. One was in the memorial building also that I
Right.
didn't know about. And
Huh.
I don't know if John knew about them, but it's just when them things happen,
We'll make a point of it.
we
Yeah.
always get told, well, you never come down here. Well,
No,
if I don't know, I can't make it.
no, you're right, because people kind of maybe just assume that you heard
We'll
about it
make
or
sure you're,
something.
yeah.
Because the auxiliary actually put on the one yesterday. I mean, they were in charge of it, and but no, we'll make sure. You bet. Just what, a text to you guys or something?
Who's
Yeah.
your secretary?
Right.
Just send it to Christie. I mean, just
Is
like
that-
the
is
information
that-
you just sent in, or you guys didn't send any in. Or, sorry about that.
Oh, no. Christie, that's,
Christie Davenport,
yeah,
yeah.
that lady, she is like the kindest, nicest lady in the
Oh,
world.
thank you.
Even in her writing and when you talk to her.
And if you send it to her, then it gets to all three commissioners.
Okay.
And well, we let county officials know. Because honestly, I enjoy going down there. I enjoy going to these different events, but
Thank you for your time.
Well, it'll give it even more credibility.
there you go. Anything else, Jeff?
No, you guys do a lot of good work. Thank you.
John?
No, I'm good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, see ya. You don't want me to bring up anything else?
Oh, last time you told us how good Swan Lake was and Downey was struggling, so
Okay.
we're probably good today.
I know. Yeah, they had a summer fest in Swan Lake yesterday, you know. The place was packed.
No, I didn't
They even had
know.
See you
that
down there.
directing the highway
We see
and
you
everything.
down there every other
So,
week, so.
Yeah, that gal's done a great job down there, so.
Good,
Yes, she has. That place is
Thank you all
amazing.
so much.
thank you.
Bye.
Leslie? Welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you bet. Please introduce yourself and who you represent.
Okay, my name is Leslie Shy. I am the fairly new Executive Director for the 6th Judicial District CASA program. We serve 6 counties here in southeast Idaho, though Bannock is where most of our activity is, and our main office is here, just a couple of blocks away down the road. Just to give you a quick overview of what we do is we provide a volunteer advocate for every child that enters the child protection court system in one of those 6 counties. The Child Protection Act in the state of Idaho requires that child to be represented in some way. And here in the state of Idaho, we've chosen to do that with CASA volunteers. That's more cost effective than trying to appoint attorneys to every single child, 0 to now up to age 21. And here in Bannock County as well, we are also required to have attorneys that represent our volunteers, but those attorneys are all also pro bono, and they're also volunteers. And we're really just there to make sure that that child doesn't fall through the cracks. They have a caseworker that's assigned to them, but that caseworker is responsible for really the entire family, the trajectory of the case. And they may have 3 to 4 children per case, and they may have 20 cases. They may be seeing 60 to 80 kids a month. Our volunteers probably only carry 1 or 2 cases. They're able to really hyper-focus on that child and try to get to know that child and that family really well, and try to determine what might be best for them as the court case moves forward. And then we make those recommendations in written reports to Judge Call. And in the materials that I sent over, we did include a letter of support from Judge Call as well. We've really enjoyed working with him over the last couple of years. So yeah, I will be happy to take any questions that you guys have for me.
So with public defense going to the state, how's that going to affect you?
Well, we're not 100% sure. That is a great question.
Same with the county.
I actually ran into Judge Murray at an event not too long ago, and he said he doesn't think it's going to impact our program very much at all because we already use volunteer attorneys. What it's sounding like is that there's going to be a pot of money and that attorneys will have to put in for reimbursement, and kind of when it's gone, it's gone. And so a lot of only 3 of us in the state use volunteer attorneys, our program, Idaho Falls and Boise. The others all use public defenders from their counties. And so they're, I know, trying to strike deals with their counties. They're trying to figure out how to continue to get representation. We probably won't change anything about what we're doing. We'll continue to use volunteer attorneys. But I am scheduled to go over, I'm part of the Guardian Ad Litem Subcommittee for the that meets with the Idaho Supreme Court, and we're scheduled to meet in beginning of September, end of August, and that is one of the first things on our agenda is to try to figure out how that change is going to impact not just ourselves and our program, but the families that we serve too and the children, because children 12 and up are appointed an attorney generally in our 6 county area, so we're not quite sure how that's going to look for them either.
So
Good
Bannock County,
questions.
you're asking for 2,500. Is that what we've been given?
25,000 is what
Or
we've asked for,
25,000.
and that's what we've traditionally been given. We have seen the number of children go up this year, but we haven't changed our request.
And Do you include the other 6 counties?
Yes, we get funding from the other 6 counties as well, and we sort of balance that out based on how, we ask for the most from you guys because we work the most cases here. And I just met with the Franklin County Commissioners about 2 weeks ago as well. So those requests have gone out to all 6 counties.
And you did double it on them, right?
I felt like since this is my first time doing this, I'm just going to ask for what we've gotten in the past and not make any waves.
No,
But I'll remember that next time, and I'll let them know that you made that request.
You get a balance sheet?
I do. I have our financials here, should you guys like to look at those. We have seen an increase in our funding from the state, which is good. I mean, we're essentially a partially funded mandate from the state, and that has helped us offset some costs. We also do fundraising, and we apply for a whole lot of grants.
1, 2, 3.
I have spent a lot of time the last couple of weeks doing grant writing, so we don't solely rely on government funding.
So, where's your biggest concerns?
Oh, we have a few moving forward. We're struggling to find volunteer attorneys. I think the attorneys are very busy. We are seeing more and more cases go to trial, I think, and because of that, attorneys don't have as much availability to work pro bono. So we're struggling a little bit with that. We have a plan, and we're working on that, just trying to recruit more. We always need more volunteers, but I think in terms of the work that we're doing, seeing how the public defender's office changing is going to impact us is one big concern. And then we've also, within the last year or two, started working extended foster care cases. So these are kiddos that turn 18, but voluntarily agree to stay in foster care or in the foster care system until they turn 21. And so figuring out the best way to serve them has been a challenge. They're no longer a minor child, and so we sort of walk a fine line with them, trying to get the information that the judge needs while still respecting the fact that they're an adult. So that's been a little bit of a challenge, and trying to figure out how best to serve those kids moving forward has been a challenge as well.
So it's interesting that they're in your care till they're 21.
They can be. So once they turn 18, it's up to them. It's completely optional. But there's a few different ways they can stay in the system. They can continue to live in a foster home. They can actually do something called supervised independent living, where the state is giving them the money that would normally be going to foster parents. And then with some guidance from the state and us, they can live on their own in an apartment or something like that. There's a lot of rules that they have to follow. And we're just kind of getting our feet wet with it and figuring it out. We've done it for the last year or two, and it wasn't super successful at first, but we're starting to kind of get the hang of it. And so I'm hoping to see some successes in that area in the near future. But figuring out where we fit into all of that has been a little bit of a challenge. We want to continue to be there to support those children and be a mentor and a help to them, but it maybe looks a little different after they turn 18. So that's been a little bit of a
So
challenge.
what's the main motivation to stay in the program, I guess?
Well, I think the financial help is probably the biggest. I'm not sure the exact amount. They get between $800 and $900 from the state, I think, per month. They also have to work a certain number of hours or be enrolled in school full-time. They have to continue to allow us to be a part of their case, the caseworkers to continue to be a part of that. So there's a lot of rules that they have to follow, but it's sort of a soft landing for these kiddos. A lot of them struggle to finish school. High school struggle to go on with their education and things like that. And this gives them a little bit of a, I don't know, like I said, a soft place in between having to adult all the way on their own and coming right straight out of the foster care system, where they maybe haven't learned by example some of those skills that we might teach, our kids. So having two 21-year-olds right now, I can tell you, it takes them a while to get into adulthood, even when they're really smart and well supported. So I feel like it's a great thing moving forward. It's just kind of been a challenge. And then we have, volunteers that only want to work one case. And so when they stay with those kids, that could be 3 years that they're staying on that one case. So we're going to need to recruit more volunteers to make up for that in the long run. So that's going to be a challenge that we'll need to address as well.
Questions?
No, I'm good.
John?
I just want to make sure I understand your statement, your financial statement here. So
Okay.
it looks like you
Hopefully.
had total revenue of just under 450,000,
Yeah, that sounds right, yes.
you know, and then I'm looking at total expenses, 300, I should have brought my glasses. I think it's about 380,000.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
So our expenses have been down a little bit this year, mainly because of personnel turnover.
Yeah.
So we changed executive directors. I am still in my old position as the training and recruiting coordinator and acting as the executive director. So we've had a lot of salary savings over the last little bit. So that is part of where that expense came from. We also had an accident with our vehicle. Not our fault, but anyway, it got totaled, and so our vehicle expenses were nothing during that time while we were waiting for our insurance payment and all that kind of stuff. So that's another area where we did not spend
Right.
some money. So there's been a little bit this year of shifting, and we're not quite at the end of our fiscal year. So our fiscal year will end June 30th, so we still have a couple more months that we'll be
So net
spending money.
revenue is about 90,000. Do you have a balance sheet with you?
I just have I was going to say, whatever I printed there is
Never
what
mind.
we've got, and
I have
I'm,
it. Okay, I didn't realize we had it.
I'm still really new to the whole financial side of things,
So current assets, it looks like, are about $600,000.
yeah, so we have, we own our building, so that's one of our assets. We own both of our vehicles, so that's, those are a couple of good assets that we have. And then we have a good savings account, which is a good thing. We never know year to year exactly how much funding we're going to get from the state. We had been getting VOCA funding, and we have decided to not move forward with VOCA funding at this point because it has been so drastically cut. We felt like that was all good causes fighting for the same pot of money, and so because the state gave us a little bit more, we decided to back away from that so other agencies could put in for that instead. So we still have a little bit of VOCA funding that came in this year that we won't get in the coming year. We had just a little come in toward the end of that, or toward the beginning of our fiscal year this year, so.
Is this number, the 90,000, approximately 90,000 net revenue, is that typical, or is that a change from like the last 2 or 3 years?
It has changed a little bit over the last couple of years. Like I said, the legislature has given us a little bit more money over the last couple of years, and part of the problem with that is we actually have to ask for that money years in advance. Money we asked for in 2021 just got approved, and we will see in the next fiscal year. So it's kind of hard to know exactly year to year when we're budgeting how things are going to look. And like I said, we did get that VOCA funding last fiscal year, and we carried some of that over into this fiscal year, but we won't be getting that this next fiscal year. And grants are another thing that are hit or miss. United Way used to fully fund our grant ask, and they can't do that anymore. So we're $5,000 or $6,000 short on that grant from what we used to get. So we've been looking for other sources of grant revenue and things like
Well,
that.
it sounds
as
like
well.
you're finding them.
Yeah, we're trying our best to do that, and like I said, we want to have a healthy reserve in case, for example, our heater went out about 2 weeks ago, so we're going to have to get that replaced. That's not something that's in our day-to-day budget, so having that reserve makes it possible for us to be able to fix those types of things when they come up, so those kinds of things come up, but
No, good questions.
yes,
Well, thank you very much. We do appreciate all the work that's done there. We're a small part, but a part of it, so thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And if you have any further questions, I know Christine knows how to get a hold of me, so.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
I'll make you all these to Jason, so he has it for his budget. That's right.
We can probably just make copies of that one if you want. Okay.
That's fine.
Health West at 10:45.
Yep.